So hello friends, this is Professor Rahul Krishnaji Bhavne, and in the subject of heat transfer, today we will see some numericals on insulated tip fin and the basic of fin effectiveness and fin efficiency. So let's start today's video. So first numerical, the statement given is one end of a long rod is inserted into a furnace while the other end is projected into the ambient air. That means there is one rod. It is not exactly a fin, but when this rod is inserted into a furnace wall and second end is left open in a surrounding fluid, ambient air, so it will behave like a fins. Under steady state, the temperature of the rod is measured at 2.75 mm apart and found to be 125 degrees centigrade and 88.5 degrees centigrade respectively. So these two temperatures are not the temperature of tip or the base. It is on the fin or that rod, and these 2 points are 75 mm apart. While the ambient temperature is 20 degrees centigrade, so this is a T infinity. If the rod is 25 mm in diameter, so circular rod is there, diameter 25 mm, and H is a 23.36 watt per meter square Kelvin. Friends, many times it is said that and 23.36 watt. So from unit we must identify what is this value. So this is convective coefficient. And it is asked to find thermal conductivity of rod material. So the given data is the distance between two mark point, that is 75 mm. So we convert into meter. And first point, the temperature is 125. Second point, temperature is 88.5. Next, surrounding fluid temperature 20 degrees centigrade. Diameter is given 25 mm. And H value of surrounding fluid is given. And it is asked to find out thermal conductivity of rod. So if I draw a schematic, so it will be like this. There is one rod which is inserted into the furnace wall, and second end is in open air, surrounding air. This having diameter D, surrounding air having H and T infinity values, and 2 points. This is point 1 and second point 2, and these 2 points are L distance apart. That means 75 mm apart. So these 2 points might be anywhere except base and tip. So it is in between base and tips. So anywhere 2 points are marked, that distance is 75 apart, and we measure with the help of any temperature measuring instrument. At this particular first point, temperature is T1, that is 125 degrees centigrade, and after 75 mm, second point T2, which is 88.5 degrees centigrade. And we have to find out the thermal conductivity of this rod. That means when heat is transferred from first point to second point, definitely heat will temperature will reduce. Highest temperature will observe at the base of fin where it is attached to furnace wall. Lowest temperature at the tip. So when heat is transferred through this fin, so surrounding air will extract the heat and temperature along the fin will be reduced. So highest temperature will be at base. Then as we move towards tip, temperature will reduce. Imagine after X distance, which is not provided, but we assume that after X distance we mark first point. So at first point higher temperature 125 degrees centigrade, and from this first point marking 75 mm distance apart we mark second point and we measure the temperature here, so it is 88.5. So temperature reducing as per the distance x. So this is our schematic, and from this given data we have to identify or calculate thermal conductivity of rod. So this is not the usual problem to put the formula and get the value. So we have to use our derivation part, and this is very important numericals, because in a previous SPPU exam 3 to 4 times same kind of question was asked. Okay, so let us see how to solve this. So this is our schematic, and these are our given data. Now to find out the thermal conductivity of rod material. So for this we have to use our basic concept of derivation. We know that general solution or excess temperature distribution equation is theta is equal to C1 e raised to the power mx plus C2 e raised to the power minus mx. Okay. But if you remember, we come to this final general solution equation by adding two parts. First part was this one, theta is equals to C1 e raised to the power mx, and second was theta is equals to C2 e raised to the power minus mx. So we are now just reversing that process. So this is our generalized solution. We are splitting into two parts. So first part will be C1 e raised to the power mx, second C2 e raised to the power minus mx. Now we will apply conditions, and for condition we have only two fixed condition, either at base where x is 0, either at tip where x is infinity, because it is assumed as an infinitely long fin, because we don't know the total length of fin, we know only the distance between 2 points. So we are assuming it is infinitely long fin. So at tip where x is infinite, at base where x is 0. So we will apply these two conditions. So for this, first, when x is 0, temperature will be TO, that is base temperature, and theta will be theta 0, because what is theta? Theta is excess temperature, and it is nothing but T minus T infinity. So if T become TO, so theta become TO minus T infinity. So we can denote as a theta 0. Now putting this condition to our this C1 into e raised to the power mx equation. So theta 0 is equals to C1 e raised to the power m, x is 0, so it is 0. Now e raised to the power 0, we know it is equals to 1. So theta 0 is equals to C1 into 1. So hence we got the value of C1. C1 is nothing but a theta 0. What is the temperature form of theta 0? So it will be T0 minus T infinity. So this is the value of C1. Now we will find out the value of C2 by using this second part. So for second part, we will apply second condition, that is tip condition, and we are assuming infinitely long fin. So at x is equals to infinity, T become T infinity, because heat will not reach to that infinite length of fin. So surrounding fluid temperature will be the temperature of that fin tip, infinitely long fin tip. So temperature remains same. So T will be T infinity. So theta will be T minus T infinity. So if T become T infinity, so it is T infinity minus T infinity. So theta will be 0. Now applying this condition, so theta is equals to C2 e raised to the power minus m infinity. Theta at this condition will be 0, so theta value is 0. C2 e raised to the power minus m infinity. No need to simplify this. Simply we will shift this to left hand side, and anything multiplied by 0 will be 0. So C2 will be 0. Now we have the value of C1 and C2. So generalized solution equation C1 and C2. So we will put these values. So our generalized solution equation for excess temperature distribution equation is theta is equals to C1 e raised to the power mx plus C2 e raised to the power minus mx. Replacing value of C1 and C2. So C1 will be theta 0 e raised to the power mx plus 0 into e raised to the power minus mx. So whole term becomes 0. So second part will be 0. So we get theta equals to theta 0 e raised to the power mx. If you remember, so this is the final form of our derivation part also, where we got this derivation theta upon theta 0 is equals to e raised to the power mx. So here we have to just derive this relations theta equals to theta 0 e raised to the power mx. Now, what is theta 0? Theta 0 is the excess temperature, and 0 means where x is 0. So theta 0 at base of fin, where it is attached to furnace wall. So theta 0, that is excess temperature at furnace wall, will be T minus T infinity was the theta. Now theta 0 is T0 minus T infinity. What is theta? So theta is T minus T infinity. Now if I apply condition 1.1 where temperature is T1, so at point 1 this relation will be changed as theta 1, because we are talking about point 1. So at point 1, what is the excess temperature? So it is theta 1 is equals to theta 0 e raised to the power mx. Now at point 2, so at point 2, this relation will be theta 2 is equals to theta 0 e raised to the power m. Now at point 2, what is the total distance with respect to base? For point 1, we are assuming after x distance there is a T1, first point is marked, and from first point to second point it is at L distance, 75 mm. So for point 2, if I talk about the distance from base, so it will be x plus this L. So here e raised to the power m, x plus L, so total distance. Now we can simplify this. So it will be theta 2 is equals to theta 0. If I separate this power, so it will be e raised to the power mx into e raised to the power ml. Now we have theta 1 value and theta 2 value. Theta 1 is for point 1, theta 2 is for point 2. Now we will go for a ratio of theta 1 and theta 2. So theta 1 upon theta 2. Why only ratio? Because whatever be the common points will get directly cancelled. So theta 1 upon theta 2. Theta 1 is theta 0 e raised to the power mx. Theta 2 is theta 0 e raised to the power mx e raised to the power mm. Now theta 0 will get cancelled. E raised to the power mx e raised to the power mx get cancelled, and we have only this one. Theta 1 upon theta 2 is T1 e raised to the power ml. So we took a ratio because we don't have much data about this. So we will prefer to cancel it. So we cancel the common terms. Now if I shift this e raised to the power ml on numerator, so it will become minus ml. In a given data, we have data in terms of temperatures. Okay. So T1 is there, T2 is there, T infinity is there. So we don't have a data in terms of excess temperature. So we will simplify this theta into temperature form. So theta 1 will be T1 minus T infinity. Theta 2 will be T2 minus T infinity. So this will be our temperature form. And we know that what is the value of T1, T infinity, T2. So if I put the temperature's value and M value, sorry, L value, that is the distance between two parts, 75 mm. Still M is unknown. So 125 minus 20, 88.5 minus 20 e raised to the power minus 0.075 M. Why M comes unknown still? Because we are interested in finding thermal conductivity, correct? And thermal conductivity will be in the formula of M only. M will be square root of that all parameters. So we have to first identify the value of m, and then from m we will calculate k. Now here, left hand side only numericals are numbers are there, so we can simplify into 1.5328 equals to e raised to the power minus 0.75 m. Now we have to bring this power term. So we will take anti-log or ln. So ln of this on both sides. So we eliminate this e term exponential. So it will be ln of 1.5328 equals to minus 0.075 m. Now it is very easy to calculate the value of m. M will be minus 5.69. Now this is the value of m and it is negative. So we will square it. So m square will be now positive value 32.38. So m square we know positive value 32.38. Now we have all these data. Now we know m is square root of HP upon KAC, where K, this is our focus to find out the value of K. That's when we have to put all remaining values. So m square, because m itself is a negative value, so we make a square to make it positive. So here m square, so square root will be cancelled, so it will be HP upon KAC. Now put the respective value m square h, convective coefficient it is given 23.36. Perimeter, it is a circular, so perimeter will be pi d. K, thermal conductivity. Cross sectional area, pi by 4 d square. Now we have all the values except this k. Now calculate and reach to the conclusion that what is the numerical value of k. So k will be 115.76 watt per meter Kelvin. So friends, remember, we don't require any much data to find out the thermal conductivity of rod. This is practically possible to mark 2 points on fins and measure the temperature of that 2 points, and from that 2 points condition we can identify the thermal conductivity of that rod. And this is very important numerical because it is many times asked in SPPU exams. Okay, so next numerical for today, this is the last numerical, then after we will see fin effectiveness and efficiency. So next, this is also SPPU questions. I think 2 or 3 times it is asked. Both end of a 6 mm diameter U-shaped copper rod are rigidly fixed to vertical wall. The wall is maintained at 100 degrees centigrade. So definitely this will be TO, base temperature. The developed length of the rod is 50 centimeter. I will explain what is the developed length. So when we saw that schematic, that time I will explain what is developed length. So developed length of the rod is 50 centimeter and conductivity is 300 watt per meter Kelvin. It is exposed to air at 30 degrees centigrade. So this is T infinity. The combined convective and radiative heat transfer coefficient is 30 watt per meter square Kelvin. So many times it is just confused by adding this radiative, because it is nothing but a H value, but it is considered convective as well as a radiative, but we have to consider this 30 as a H value itself. Calculate temperature at the center of rod and heat transfer by the rod. So we have a diameter of that U-shaped copper rod, base temperature 100, and it is said developed length 50 centimeters. So if that is a U shape, so it will be 2L. So 2L will be 50 centimeter. Next, thermal conductivity is given and T infinity is given with H value. Now if I try to draw a schematic, so schematic will be like this. This is the heated plate, base plate, and this is U-shaped rod. So U-shaped rod, both ends are inserted into this heated plate. Now, what is the developed length? Developed length means if you might be saw in your engineering graphics development of prism or cone. So where we expand that. So if I extend this rod and make it straight, so that condition, that total length will be the developed length. But it is in U shape, so total length will be 2L. If I bend into U shape, so half will be the L. So here we give the notation 2L is equals to 50 centimeter. Now in this case, what happened? Both the end of rod attached to the same source. So from this end, upper end, it will travel towards the second end. From this bottom end also it will travel from base plate to second end, and both side heat transfer rate will be the same because same material, same base temperature, same thermal conductivity. So heat will travel up to the center point. From bottom end also it will travel up to the center point, and exactly at center both side temperature at this tip will be same. So at this center it will neither cross from left to right or right to left. That means it is treated as an insulated fin. So at center it will be just like an insulation. It is not going to pass to second side. So it is insulated fin. And in that case, if we saw, so insulated fins, so we observe there are two fins, two numbers of fins. First will be bottom, second will be top. So even though it is a one rod, but it will behave like a two fins with insulated tip. Got it? And now individually, if we consider a projected length is 2L, so individually this length of fin is assumed as a L. So it will be 25 centimeter. So let us see how to solve this. So this is our schematic, and given data is, now first is the temperature at the center of rod. So this is the center of rod after L distance. Okay, and from any side, top side or bottom side, temperature will be the same at the center. So as heat is transferred from both attached end and reach to center, where there is no heat transfer across it, thus it behave like two insulated tip fins of length 25 centimeter. Okay, sorry, there is a one mistake. Yes, 2L is 50 mm, so L will be 25. Correct. No mistake. Now the temperature at insulated tip, that means here, which is nothing but the center of U bend rod. Correct. So we will use temperature form. So TL minus T infinity upon T0 minus T infinity. So it will be just like a theta L upon theta 0. Why theta L? Because we are interested in finding the temperature of tip. So theta L upon theta 0. So it will be TL minus T infinity upon T0 minus T infinity. And we know that for insulated tip fin, it is nothing but 1 upon cos H ml. Now M, we require M value. L is there, 25 centimeters. So M is the square root of HP upon KAC. H, convective coefficient 30. K is given 300. Perimeter pi d. Cross sectional area pi by 4 d square. So if I put the values of all these parameters. So M will be 8.16. Now if I put the value of M, L and all these temperature except TL, because we are going to find out the TL only. So TL will be unknown. Now after calculation we come to conclusion that TL, temperature at this L distance, which is nothing but a center of this U bend, is 47.9 degrees centigrade. So we have to just use temperature distribution relations for insulated tip. Okay. Now the second part, heat transfer by the rod. Now here many students make a mistake. Heat transfer by the rod. Now this rod behave like a two insulated fin, bottoms and top. So bottom and top parts are the two insulated fins. So we have to use this formula. Heat transfer rate is twice H pack theta 0 tan HML. So this bracket is nothing but a Q actual for insulated tip. But whatever be the formula derived, it is for one fin, and here we got the two fins, bottom and top. So we are multiplying 2. So heat transfer rate twice of this. Now we know everything, that is what is pi d, pi by 4 d square, k value, t0, t infinity, tan h, m and L value. So put all the numbers. There is only one unknown, that is heat transfer rate. So after calculation we reached to conclusion that heat transfer rate will be 9.37 watt. So this is our answer for this U bend rod. Okay, this is also one of the important numerical repeatedly asked in SPQA exam. Now we will see today's last portion. Last, I think 3 slides are there. So fin effectiveness. Now we use fins to the base surface. Suppose this is a cylinder and we apply one fin here. Why we apply fins? To increase the overall surface area. If I increase the area, so heat transfer by convection will be more, correct? When we said heat transfer convection is more when convection resistance is less. If convection resistance is less, so heat transfer rate will be more, correct? Now by adding this fin, what happened? We increasing surface area, so convection resistance will be reduced, and conduction resistance will increase, because now heat has to travel through this thickness of fin also. So previously heat conduction path will be up to radius. Now it is added by the length L of this fin. So heat transfer resistance by conduction will be increased. So by adding a fin, there are two phenomena. Convection resistance is reduced, by virtue of which heat transfer rate should be increased. But at the same time, addition of extra material, thermal resistance is increased. If thermal resistance is increased, so heat transfer by conduction will reduce. So by adding fin, at a time both phenomena are working together. Convection part tends to increase the heat transfer rate. Conduction part tends to reduce the heat transfer rate. So how we can identify whether applying fins will actually increasing heat transfer rate or not? Now for the same schematic, imagine there is only one fin. If I attach 10 fins on the periphery of the cylinders, so okay, it will increase heat transfer rate. Now instead of 10, if I increase the number of fins and put the 20 fins very closed, so if I put number of fins in a very close proximity, So convection part will be reduced because they don't get a sufficient space to travel convective medium, that is air. So what happened? Convection heat transfer rate will be small, but number of fins, if I am adding, so conduction resistance will be increased. And even though I am adding the fins for increasing heat transfer, but actual effect will be, it will actually reduce the heat transfer. So how one can identify to adding fin, whether it is really work, because fin is only added to increase the heat transfer rate. So whether it is really work to increase heat transfer rate or not. So for that, we have a parameter that is known as effectiveness. Now what is effectiveness? So fin is an extended surface which increases overall heat convective surface area to increase the heat convection. But at the same time, it increases conduction resistance to heat flow by increasing path length of heat flow, which results decrease in heat conduction. Therefore, it is not sure whether the heat transfer rate will increase or decrease by providing the fins. Thus, it is analyzed by the term fin effectiveness, and it is denoted by capital E. Now, fin effectiveness. So fin effectiveness is the ratio of actual heat transfer rate from the fin surface to the heat transfer rate from the base surface when there is no fin. So imagine this cylinder is there. If there is no fin and we calculate the heat transfer rate. After applying fins, if we measure heat transfer rate, so with fin, if heat transfer rate is more as compared to without fin, then we can say attaching a fin is really worthful and it is going to increase the rate of heat transfer. That means it having some effect. Correct? If I attach number of fins very closely to each other, and when I measure or calculate a heat transfer rate, and I found that without fin heat transfer rate was better, more. And even though I apply number of fins, heat transfer rate is reduced because conduction resistance is lot of. So that time we can say that effectiveness value is negative. That means applying fin is not working at all. So effectiveness formula will be actual heat transfer from fin surface when there is fins to the heat transfer from the base surface when there is no fins. So if actual heat transfer will be more than without fins, so effectiveness value will be positive. And if it is a positive value, that means addition of fin is actually working to increase the rate of fin. But if this ratio become negative, that means after adding fins, heat transfer rate is actually reduced. So it is better to don't provide the fins. Okay. Now, so this is our formula for effectiveness. So Q actual upon Q when there is no fins. Now what is the Q actual? So if fins are infinitely long, so we know that Q actual is H pack theta 0. If fins are insulated tip kind of fins, so Q actual will be H pack theta 0 tan H ml. And what is Q no fin? So Q no fin means when there is no fins, so that means normal Newton's law of convection. So H area of base plate when there is no fin multiply by T base minus T infinity. So when there is no fins, so we will use the base plate as a heat transferring surface, and accordingly we will calculate rate of heat transfer. So H into area of that base plate multiply by T infinity, T0 minus T infinity. For Q actual, if it is a long fin, so we know what is the formula. If it is insulated tip fin, so we know what is the formula to find out the Q actual. So from this we can compare and justify adding a fin is really workful to increase the rate of heat transfer or not. Okay. So effectiveness, what is the significance of effectiveness? So effectiveness can identify whether addition of fin to the base plate will increase rate of heat transfer or not. Okay. And the last term, that is fin efficiency. Now imagine such kind of fin is there, which is attached to base plate and extended and open to the surrounding fluid. Now, base plate having a maximum temperature, TO, and when heat is travel from base plate towards tip, so temperature will be reduced. So at T0 will be here at base, T1 suppose at this point, after some distance T2, after some distance it reach to tip, and tip having lowest temperature. Now imagine when heat is carried away by surrounding fluid. So convection will be directly proportional to temperature difference also. So when this surrounding fluid come in a contact of fin surface towards base, so there is a highest temperature difference. So it will extract more heat from base part. When surrounding fluid come to this point 1, as compared to base, there is a lesser temperature. So temperature distribution, temperature difference is lesser. So lesser amount of heat will be convected out. As it moves further towards tip, so again heat extraction or convection will be reduced and it will be lowest at tip. That means along the fin, heat transfer rate is not same throughout the fin surface. It is different. Maximum at base and it is continuously reduced and minimum at tip. So how we can identify what is the fin efficiency? Normally efficiency, we know that output upon input, so maximum. So when fin is attached to the base plate, there is a heat transfer by conduction from base plate to fin and then from fin surface to surrounding fluid, that is by convection. The temperature at the base of fin is same as that of plate because it is just attached to heating plate, but towards tip temperature goes on decreasing and minimum at tip. So fin efficiency is the ratio of actual heat transfer from fin to the maximum possible heat transfer from the fin. Now what is maximum heat transfer? So that is when it is at the best temperature throughout the length of fin. So actual heat transfer from the fin. Actual heat transfer, if it is infinitely long kind of fin, so we know what is actual heat transfer, that is Hpack theta 0. If it is insulated tip fin, so Hpack theta 0 tan H ml. Correct? So we know what is the formula for actual heat transfer rate. Now maximum possible, when this fin will transfer maximum heat transfer, when we assume all these fin reach to the base temperature, because in actual condition only this base is at base temperature and along tips towards tips it is reducing. If this complete fin reach to the base temperature, so at every part same amount of heat will be convected out and it will be the maximum amount. So the fin efficiency will be the ratio of actual heat transfer from the fin. By using our formula we can calculate this to the maximum possible heat transfer from the fin, and maximum when it is possible when we assume all the fin is at base temperature. So formula will be fin efficiency actual upon maximum. So maximum will be by using Newton's law, H surface area of fin. But now we are assuming whole surface area of fin is at base temperature T0 minus T infinity. For actual, we know these two formula for long fin and insulated tip fin. For maximum, we must assume whole fin is at base temperature. So remember, these two are different terms. Effectiveness only identify whether addition of fin is worthful or not. Efficiency gives the value how efficiently that fin transfer heat with respect to maximum possible condition.